I'm Bill O'Reilly, and this is the Talking Points memo. We're going to discuss what happened today in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee with the attacks on Judge Brett Kavanaugh by Dr. Christine Ford. Okay, so basically you have a he said, she said, somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. So let's take Dr. Ford first. In this situation, she came across as polished in her opening statement. Okay? So I can't say that she made any mistakes. She looked to be sincere, and she says to the American people, Brett Kavanaugh assaulted me when I was 15 years old and he was 17. That's what she says. The statement was coherent. She looked believable. Okay. Then it started. Instead of the senators questioning her, a prosecutor from Arizona, Rachel Mitchell, did the Q&A on the side of the Republicans. Ms. Mitchell did not bring a sense of urgency to the questioning, which I thought was a mistake. She was gentle. She was accommodating to Dr. Ford. Now, I understand the Republicans are terrified of Me Too. They're terrified of losing women votes. But in this kind of a case, where there's a man's life on the line, I would have been a little more assertive than Counselor Mitchell. The thing that impressed me about the questioning is that it brought out that Dr. Ford does not remember key things, where the house was, when it took place, the alleged assault, who was really there, and most important of all, how she got home. They brought out a big map. She couldn't have walked home. Dr. Ford admits she didn't walk home. She doesn't remember, after this horrendous situation, who drove her home. I understand trauma. I understand that you might forget things, but that's a huge, huge part of the story. Even if the trauma was such that it obliterated Dr. Ford's memory, even if, somebody would step up and say, I drove her home. I drove her home. The people that Dr. Ford says were in the house all deny it. They all deny it, even her very, very close friend. So what you have then is a situation where no court in the world would ever convict Brett Kavanaugh of anything listening to what Dr. Ford put forth under oath. Nobody would do it. There isn't enough evidence. There are holes in the story that are enormous, and that's the fact. That's the truth. Then you add the political layer. As I told you, her lawyers are working free of charge. And every time you saw a sympathetic picture of Dr. Ford, I just kept looking to the two lawyers flanking her, who are fanatical, far-left zealots who have devoted their lives to destroying people with whom they disagree politically. That's who her lawyers are. How did she get the lawyers? We learned today. Dianne Feinstein steered her in to these lawyers. These lawyers are not being paid by Dr. Ford. The lie detector test that she took, she didn't pay for it. And she said, oh, I don't know who paid for it. I don't know who paid for it. She wasn't even clear on whether her lawyers are being paid by somebody. The lawyer stepped up and said, we're doing it pro bono, which means for free. We're not being paid by anyone. Okay. So now you have a political component. Get Brett Kavanaugh, combined with huge gaps in the actual story. Huge. Drive truck through them. not corroborated by the 3 people, 4 names that were at the party. Doesn't know how she got home. Doesn't know where the house was. Doesn't even know when the alleged act happened. Because she was traumatized, and that's why she doesn't know. That's what she purports. The disturbing thing about this is that Dr. Ford looks like a human being who's responsible. But in order to destroy a man, if this didn't happen, she's a monster. If it didn't happen. But from what we know now, the most important thing for you, the American citizen, is that Brett Kavanaugh would not be convicted in any civil or criminal court. And that's the memo. I'm Bill O'Reilly for Newsmax, reminding you the best analysis ever is on BillO'Reilly.com. We hope you check us out.